What is up, everybody? How are we? Welcome to another weekend review show. It's only me tonight. Johnny, obviously, like we said, has just had his latest baby boy. With congrats to him. Rob, I couldn't get in touch with Rob. Don't know what was happening. Messaged him. But you know what? We still got a lot to talk about. Reborn says, AKP, Dimmy, how you doing, man? Don't at me says, wonder how everyone's tips went. Yeah, don't think they went well. Hopefully, can everyone hear me fine? As long as you can hear me fine. The great man, KP, good evening. How are you, man? I'm not the best. Let's go straight out, man. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Ange Ball. Yeah, Ange Ball, definitely. Definitely. But we would talk about that game and we'll give our thoughts. We'll give our thoughts about that game. Obviously, Reborn was not happy about it. He vented in the Discord about it a little bit, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it was a bit of a disgrace. We've got it in the heading. VAR is a disgrace, pretty much, you know, and I don't really think it can be put in any other words. But what we'll do is first we'll get to that game. We'll bring up hashtag this big disgrace. We'll bring up the results first and foremost, and when you have a manager with the name Angelo, miracles happen. His name's Evangelos. I could go on. I'll just say this. That game was an absolute joke. It is. Listen, I will get into that. Don't worry. I'll talk about it. Unfortunately, it didn't have anything to do with Ange or Ange Ball. That's the problem. And that's the, you know, I know people that were watching the game that turned off, stopped watching it. Like, yeah, let it all out. True. Listen, but what we'll do is we'll bring up the results. We'll talk about the first couple games first, and then we'll get into that game. Don't worry. I've got a lot to say about that. A lot to say about Man United. I did in Discord. He did. All right, there's the results. There's the results. So it started on Saturday with, that's the first one we'll talk about. Villa absolutely smashing Brighton. I don't know where that result came from. But again, there was a VAR um, there was a VAR decision in that game where I think it was Solly March got fouled going on to Aston Villa's third goal, I believe. And it should have been disallowed. Listen, it was a good goal and all that, but he got fouled 10 seconds before they scored. And they go, they had enough time to recap. That was a joke. But aside from that, Villa did smash them. Villa smashed Brighton, which listen, I tipped Villa, but I didn't. There was no way anyone could say they tipped them to do that to them. That was a spanking for a team that was third. Brighton were third. You know, they won at Old Trafford. They're flying high, like at the moment. To get done like that by Villa was. Don't think anyone expected that. Villa played really well. I was saying since the start, I thought Villa were going to have a really good year with Unai Emery now. Good manager. Tyrone Mings is not in the team at the moment because of injury, but I think that's actually helped them because he's been playing Konsa and Pau Torres at the back. Ollie Watkins is starting to score again. He got a hat-trick. You know, they've got some good players. Tielemans, but Ramsey comes off the bench. He's a great young player. Bailey, like Diaby, they have a really good team. His magnetism even infected the VAR. Well, you know what? Listen, I was saying, I said it to Chris at the start of the year. You know, I wanted Ange to do good because he was Australian and that, but I don't want him to win another game now. Now that my team's doing shit. That might be sad saying that, but you know, what do you do? I don't care that he's Australian or Greek and he's managing a rival now, and I don't care what he does really. But he's doing well. Credit to him. We'll get onto that. But yeah, Villa smashed Brighton. They smashed them. It was, yeah, I don't know. I don't think anyone could have. Would have been good for if there was something we could have got a few more views on it, but on the game. But listen, Villa can do real well this year. I think I tipped them at the start of the year to make Europe and to win their. What are they in? Europa Conference? I think they're in Europa Conference. So, wonder how much the Villa scoreline was paying. Would have been ridiculous. 6-1 would have been. Back in the day, I remember 6-1 used to be considered a scores not quoted. It used to pay $15, but it would be more than that. If you could have tipped it 6-1 and had money on it, you would have cleaned up. Absolutely took them to pieces, man. But moving on. Let's go. Let's go to the rest of the games on Saturday. We'll go to the one that we did a watch along on. That I've got a lot to say about. Obviously, Manchester United lost at home to Palace. Yeah, it would have been ripping, damn. Yeah, so it would have been a huge odds. So United lose at home to Palace. Where do I start? I don't know. Trying to think where to start. I don't know how you can have 80% possession and only have 4 shots on target. Yeah, it's farcical, really. 80% possession, but they can't break a low block. I don't know what's going on with Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Pilestri come in, didn't do well. Casemiro didn't do well. Amrabat, I know he's playing at left back, was atrocious, man. Terrible. He was terrible. Onana, listen, he couldn't stop the goals or won the goal. I think Dalot and Varane and Lindelof actually did okay. Them 3 were probably our 3 best players. On top of it, not being able to break a low block, disgrace. The other thing, 80th minute, Eric Ten Hag brings on Harry Maguire and Donny van de Beek. 2 players that were not even meant to be at the club, both refused moves. And he didn't bring on Harry Maguire to put him up front and lump the ball to him. He brought him on in place of Varane at centre-back. one of the best centre-backs in the world. You got Rafael Varane, 4 times Champions League winner, World Cup winner, 80th minute. Oh, let's put Maguire on for him. That made no sense. I was fuming on the watch long. If there's any of that is watching that you remember, I was fuming. Donny doesn't want to be at the club. Why are you bringing him on? Bring on a youngster with a bit of, that's going to show some gusto, show a bit of energy. I don't know, like, it doesn't make sense. Those 2 players won't even make the Tottenham team. Yeah, Harry Maguire, mate, might make it. Don't know. He's popular. People like him, but he's just. It must be an Icarian thing. Like, a Greek guy takes over Tottenham, and you all love Tottenham now. Did you guys ever support teams before Ange went to Tottenham? Like, who did you guys? What sort of supporters are you? You just drop your team to support this new team because Ange is there. Chris is the only one. He supported Tottenham first. Exactly. So you should support Leeds there. Don't support Tottenham just because Ange is there. It's tripping me out. Chris is the only one. He was a Tottenham fan before. They both wear white. Nah, no dice. Doesn't sit. No dice. But yeah, the subs were terrible. Reeve says, I don't know what's wrong. There's no bite in the United side, just not being ruthless. Not at all, man. Dam says, Dimmy, that's wild. Forza Leeds. Dam is a Leeds fan, and he always says it. He's open about it. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean, Reeves. I'll go support Nottingham Forest, man. They wear red. That's what I hate about these guys. They're like, we'll go for Tottenham now because Ange is. That's what they said to me. Don't you want him to do well? No, I don't want him to do well because they're a rival. I don't care what he does anymore. Ange would have gone to Leeds if they stayed up. But you know what? They didn't stay up. You know? They're not there. So... But yeah, listen, I don't know. United have got Galatasaray on Wednesday now. They got Brentford at home. And I'm not confident in them winning any of them at the moment. Like Reeve said, there's no oomph. There's no killer instinct. There's just nothing. Like, I don't know. It's so hard to put your finger on. It's like Chelsea. There has to be problems beyond the squad because there's been 3 managers before Eric Ten Hag that have struggled to get them to do what he wants them to do. Louis van Gaal was a massive, tactician. He couldn't get them playing LVG ball. Rangnick was the king of the press, couldn't get them to do the press. Mourinho couldn't even get them to play the Mourinho way. Ole, he couldn't get them to play the Ole, well, whatever it is. So something is not there with this squad that they do not. Last year, they're doing what Eric Ten Hag wanted. They win a trophy, finish 3rd, and it's like it's gone out the window. Heads have to roll, and unfortunately, it shouldn't be Eric Ten Hag. It should be players, mate, and board members like Glazers. Get out of our club. I've said it so many times, use our parasites. That you don't care about the club in any way. All you care about is this, the Benjamins, the money. And you're there making money off an institution that people, care about and love, and you don't give 2 shits about it. You've taken it from the most powerful club in the world to put it in the gutter, which is, you should be ashamed of yourselves. And that's the last we'll touch on that. We'll go to the next ones now. The rest of these, listen, I was watching them with Goal Rush. Arsenal absolutely smacked Bournemouth, which I think everyone did. Tipped that. We'll talk a bit about that in a second, but I'll go through the results. Luton won at Everton. Everton have lost all 4 home games now, and they've only scored 1 goal, which is crazy. Newcastle, got made light work of Burnley, I think 2-0. West Ham, easy win at Sheffield United. The other shock of the night, we'll talk about that, is Wolves get the chocolates against Man City. And I don't know. Can anyone in the tips boys tell me that they tipped Wolves to beat Man City? Because I doubt it. I doubt anyone tipped Man City. But I got the stats. I'm going to show you guys the stats, right? I've got them here. I'm going to read them out to you of that game because I was looking at them earlier. Dimmy Nee, Chris says. Oh my God, Dimmy Nee. Amrabat can play anywhere, Dimmy says. Had him in my FIFA team, was awesome. Man United will poach Muscat. Who's Kevin Muscat? Luton, loving that. And Wolves, even though they screwed my tip. No sober person tipped Wolves. That's right. But yeah, I'll 100% them. I'll read you the... I like that one. Give him this one. I'll read you the stats, man, of that game. So you can get a figure about it in your heads. All right, so possession, 68% possession to 32% possession City's way. Expected goals was only 0.87 for City, 0.47 for Wolves, and they scored 2. Total shots, 23-3. Man City's way. Big chances, only 1 to Wolves, none to Man City. So they had 23 shots, didn't have 1 big chance. And their equaliser was a cracker. Oh, not equaliser, their goal, sorry. The free kick by Julian Alvarez was an absolute cracker. So, I don't know. You've got the best striker in the world, and he's been missing chances lately too. The thing about it, listen, I'm not saying he's going to go on a run and not score because he'll probably score 5 next week, but yeah, those stats tell a huge story, man. But then, yeah, in that it's like I said, I don't think anyone would have tipped that massive result, not just for Wolves but for the league as a whole. Which takes us on to Bournemouth losing 4-0 to Arsenal. Arsenal made absolutely light work. There's not really much to say. Arsenal are looking real good. It's funny to say, but I think they've gone under the radar a bit because people have been talking about Liverpool, the team, to be challenging City and all sorts of things like that. And then this stuff happens with Liverpool this weekend. And Tottenham Arsenal just keep on going on their merry way, you know. 2 penalties, but they were stonewall penalties. Yeah, 4-0, like very easy win. As much as I love the Spurs winning, VAR and EPL are a joke, Chris C says. Absolutely. Mate, the amount of City fans taking the piss out of us, forgetting they also lost, had an own goal, and they were playing against 11 men. We were playing against 12. Yeah, I've been hearing. Listen, happens all the time, man. Happens all the time. You know, as a United fan and as a Liverpool fan for you, we've been copping it for years. United and Liverpool, every time another team lose, the argument, they bring Liverpool and United into our argument. That's what it is. Kovacic playing for Man City, that might be the problem, Dimmy says. Well, he wasn't even playing at Chelsea. You know what I mean? They're like 10th now, so, you know, who knows? But I agree. I don't think he's that good either, Dimmy, to be honest. I agree with that. Before we keep going, guys, if there's anyone new, if you haven't, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Dimmy, hit the like button. Reeves, I know he's done it. He's a nice guy. Alright, the other ones, like I said, I was doing them on watch along. Newcastle, they made a bit of easy work of Burnley, 2-0. They're just, after a rough start, they've got on their merry way now. West Ham, doing really good, man. They won again. You know, they're doing so well, West Ham. Good on David Moyes. So, when you look at the table now, it's West Ham are 7th. You know, doing really well. 4 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. Jared Bowen, like I was saying it last week, how does that guy not get in the England team? You know, and he goes and picks Phillips, Henderson, Maguire. Should be nowhere near it. And you got blokes like Bowen, James Ward-Prowse can't get in the England team. You know what I mean? I don't know what Reeves thinks, but it'd definitely be helping out your team if you had more players like that in the team than Maguire's and Phillips, etc. And seeing the Spurs team celebrate like they just won a final was a piss take. How can you celebrate that shambles? Couldn't score against 9 men, need an own goal. I'd be ashamed. Love how Reeves is getting into it. I know what you mean, but when you're on the field, I don't know, would they have known that they got that? Because it was a VAR decision. Klopp wasn't even very animated about it. So until after, with the Tottenham players might not even have known. They're just happy, I think, that they beat Liverpool for I think it was the first time or only the third time in 24 years or something. So I get that thing with them. When you're on the field, it's like that. Sometimes you over celebrate when you don't need to. But all right, the big one. We'll talk about it. I just left it up there. Sorry, guys. Spurs beating Liverpool 2-1. I'll read a few of these before we get on to talk about that one. Is Jadon Sancho done? Should he retire or play A-League? Well, listen, he's a lot better than A-League. He shouldn't retire because he's 22, 23. He just needs a fresh start and get his head down, focus on football instead of just stupidity. Like the other day, Man United were playing, he wasn't in the squad, and he puts up a post of himself playing FIFA instead of watching his team. Like, what? It's the team you play for, mate, and they're playing in an important game, and you're putting a post up on purpose to be a troublemaker, really, after you've refused to apologize to the manager of you playing FIFA. Like, cry me a river, mate. You got told that you didn't train well. That's why you weren't selected. He didn't say anything bad. It was nothing harsh. If you can't take that, football's not for you. It's not for you. If you can't take a coach telling you, listen, you haven't trained well this week, that's why you're not selected, don't play. Go follow that advice. Maybe retire. Go take up something else where there's no constructive criticism. Because if you can't take it in life either, it's not for you. See you later. Like, Sancho, grow up. Turn this around. You want to show the type of player you are, the type of young man you are. Show up to the training ground now. Show Eric Ten Hag what you're about. Train good. Train better than the players that are there. Get selected and do something with your Man United career. Not what you've been doing for the past 3 years, which is nothing. And I'm not going to swear, but absolutely all. Nothing. You've done nothing. He's close to a Judas, man. The minute he leaves, he's the new Judas. How much will the Saudis pay him? He'll get clean up if he goes there. Clean up. He'll clean up. I'll lose all respect for him if he goes there. Go show you can actually play, mate. But yeah, put your head down. Like Dan said, not watching your team, disgraceful. But on to the game I said we're going to talk about. Spurs, I'm not going to say get the chocolates. Spurs win 2-1 against Liverpool. I'm going to bring up some pictures for you guys before I give it a review, whatever. I'm going to bring up a few pictures. All right, you ready? So that's Luis Diaz running through. Romero down here at the bottom. With the naked eye, I can see he's onside. Right? I'll give you another view. So another view, bit more to the left. I'll leave it up so you can, make what you will of that. So, listen, I'm sure Reeves has seen that a few times and looked at that picture over and over. Listen, I'm sure Jurgen Klopp has looked at that. 100% they've admitted it was, damn. So, PGMOL come out yesterday, whenever it was, after the game. And they, let me read what they wrote to you guys before I give my part. All right. So PGMOL, this is their statement. Referee's body, PGMOL, has admitted the decision to disallow Luis Diaz goal in 9-man Liverpool's 2-1 loss to Tottenham Hotspur was a significant human error. PGMOL acknowledged a significant human error occurred. The statement read, PGMOL will conduct a full review. It continued, the goal by Luis Diaz was disallowed for offside by the on-field team of match officials. This was clear and obvious factual error. Factual, because offside is, it's neither here or there. It's, you're either onside or you're offside. It's just, it's factual, right? So, obvious factual error and should have resulted in a goal being awarded through VAR intervention. However, the VAR failed to intervene. BBC Sports understands the correct procedure was followed for the controversial decision, but the mistake was down to human error. What human, before I continue reading, sits in that building, wherever it is in London, looks at that, the lines don't even get put up and can't tell that's onside? You're either getting paid, something's rigged, or you're really terrible at your job. And you know what? I don't believe it's the third one. Something's wrong there. To look at it for, how long did they look at it, Reeves? I don't know, is Reeves there? Can he answer me? How long did they look at it? 20 seconds? Like the shortest VAR look I've seen in history. Like, what? All right, you know what I mean? I'll keep going. However, what is being described by sources as a lapse of concentration led to a loss of focus around the initial on-field decision and then check complete being confirmed, rather than an intervention which would have resulted in the goal being awarded. It is understood referees chief Howard Webb has spoken to Liverpool this evening. Oh, thanks, Howard. Does that give them their points? Mate, this could cost them millions. Could cost them a championship. You don't know. All right. The Reds also had Curtis Jones and Diogo Jota sent off and lost to a stoppage time Joel Matip own goal after resolutely keeping Spurs out. Speaking after the match, Jurgen Klopp said his side's defeat came in the most unfair circumstances with crazy decisions. That is not offside when you see it, he told Sky Sports. The ball is between Mo Salah's legs. They drew the line and didn't judge the moment when Mo passed the ball. Right, he said. You know how he talks. Former England striker Alan Shearer described VAR's error as incomprehensible. What a word by Al there. On BBC Match of the Day, the one bit of VAR we have accepted and learnt we can't argue about was offside, he said. This will put so much doubt into decisions that go on. It's a monumental error. We spotted it straight away. With the naked eye, they're saying. They spotted it straight away. We are led to believe Darren England, the VAR, and Daniel Cook, the assistant VAR, have done all they should have done in terms of drawing lines, but instead of saying goal, for some reason had a huge lapse and said check complete. So Darren England sees it's onside and doesn't say goal, goes, oh, check complete. Well, then why didn't they just go, oh, wait. No, it was a goal. Please. What is the point of having an assistant VAR? It was 35 seconds between that and allowing kickoff. The VAR had momentary lapse, but why can't the assistant VAR say we need to stop this? A horrendous day for the officials and VAR. We have seen some howlers, but that is the biggest. Trust is going to be a big thing going forward. Klopp said the PGMOL statement doesn't help and referenced the apology Wolves received for the decision not to award a penalty against Manchester United early in the season. Spot on, and I'm a United fan. I don't think we should talk too much about that because it doesn't help at all. Exactly. All right. So I'll read a few of these chats and I'll say what we got to say. Doesn't mean anything. Too late now. Game is done. Either replay the game or give it a draw. They didn't even draw the lines, Reeves says. So to the fans, we didn't even see the lines. Ridiculous. Like, then they reckon they did. Oh, significant human error. Don't put that human in there. 40 seconds, Dimmy says. Well, it was in between 30 and 35 before kickoff happened. So that means it wasn't 40 seconds for the review only went for 20 seconds then. 35 seconds, I think, was the official time from the official offside to restart. So that means the review only went for like 20, 25 seconds. They thought the goal was awarded and gave the all clear. They didn't realize the goal wasn't awarded. Mate, to me, for him, it makes you feel as a fan that there's some betting, something happening somewhere, something's rigged. Like, it makes you, this is what makes you not, you fall out of love with the game with these things. Like, which is a disgrace, really. But in saying that, everyone that follows HFD Media knows that I am a Manchester United fan. And I should be sitting here saying, laughing at Liverpool, laughing at them, ha ha ha, yeah, sucked in Liverpool. But you know what? I'm not. I said to Big Man today, these things bring the football world together, which transcend your rivalries. Because what they've done there is farcical. To not give Liverpool that goal once they've just had a red card that was, like he was tackling him with the front of his foot. And, the way science is, if your foot goes on the ball, it makes your foot go that way. He didn't mean to stud him up. It should have been a yellow. They give him a red card, which is dodgy. To not give that goal in let's just say 35 seconds is farcical. Like VAR should be scrapped. It has no place in the game because they've said VAR is going to help us get this decision, get that decision. They're getting more decisions wrong with VAR than they were without it. Scrap VAR. It's got no place in the game because at the end of the day, significant human error, it's got nothing to do. You didn't even follow the rules. Offside is offside. Like, it makes no sense. And like I said, I should be sitting here laughing because it was Liverpool. Oh, and then, but you can't because it's going to happen to your team. If it can happen to Liverpool, it's, these things bring the wider football community together. They should be banding again. The coaches, if I was the coach, I'm saying we don't want VAR. They should be voting. We don't want it in our league. Okay? Keep it in internationals. Keep it in your La Liga. Keep it in your Liga, Eredivisie, whatever. We don't want it in our league. We don't want VAR because even with the help of computers, lines, whatever you do, you're still getting decisions wrong. Wenger said years ago, scrap offside rule. They saw Hooper give the free kick. Shouldn't have been the light bulb moment. Yeah, exactly. Did you see the still that was on the screen when the ref went over to the screen? Just showed Jones' boot in the leg. Not that led to it. Yeah, the speed. Exactly, because they're watching it in slow-mo. Ridiculous. What can replace VAR, though, Chris says? Nothing should replace it because for 200 years, whatever the hell, 150 years, was there VAR? There was no VAR. And the game was fine. Human error, it's like in cricket. Why have you got these referrals and all that? Just because they've admitted it was significant human error. So just let human error be in the game to the official that's on the field. He's made a decision. If it's onside, offside, whatever, they're to blame. They're culpable because they're the officials on the pitch. It shouldn't be going into a room and someone getting something like that wrong. Like I said this to Reed, I said this to Chris. I didn't talk about it before in the Man United game, right? So, and this pales in comparison to what happened to Liverpool. A ball travelled 40 yards into the penalty box. I don't know if Reed saw it. The Crystal Palace player handballed it so it doesn't get to Rashford. And the VAR look at it and go, oh, it's not handball. If a ball travels 40 yards and hits someone's hand, I hate to tell you, VAR, PGMOL, whoever, that's a penalty. Like, that's a penalty. I get if it hits your hand from 30 centimeters away at the speed Wayne Rooney's having a shot, completely different story. But if a ball travels 40 yards, touches your hand, when you're facing this way, and it hits you, so it doesn't get to the attacker so he can have a shot on goal, that's a penalty. United should have had a stonewall penalty there. So these decisions that all happened in the same week. When Tottenham played Arsenal last week, Romero gave away a penalty for a handball where he had his hand up here. Shot into his arm, Arsenal got a penalty. 2 weeks before that, Romero did the exact same thing against Manchester United. I don't know if Reeves remembers, United did not get given a penalty. So where's the consistency? And then they go out, make these decisions against Liverpool. Like, you could have cost them a league. If they end up losing the league by a point, PGMOL, the Referees Association, has cost Liverpool the league and millions of dollars. You know, like, it's what they don't have a leg to stand on. The Romero penalty deflected onto his arm. I don't know. Were you talking about the Arsenal game or the Man United game? Because in the Arsenal one, he got given a penalty. Yeah, it was. It came off his leg. Which game? To travel that far, death should have been given. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Reborn. Like the one against Palace, like, it's going 40 yards. What the point about that is, listen, I'm an attacker. It doesn't matter if it deflected off his leg, because if he's running in and he's tackling like this and it deflects off his leg and hits his arm here, but it was going to go top corner, that should be a penalty. Yeah, Arsenal, so it should be a penalty because the ball was probably going in the net. The one against United didn't even deflect. It just hit his hand and they give no penalty. Like, there's no consistency. The only consistency is being shit. And listen, it's farcical. Exactly. It's very farcical. Hashtag VAR out, Damn says. It's like, I don't know where do they go from here? Where do they go? Like, it's, you sit back and think about it. They've got so many handballs wrong already this year. It happened with, was it Brighton, Arsenal last year, when Arsenal were in a title race. They didn't give a goal that was onside. Same sort of thing that happened. And then they came out and admitted it wasn't a goal. And Arsenal were in a title race and they got a draw when they should have won last year. So what happened there? You know, I'm not saying they would have won the league, but they would have won a lot closer. Is the league doing anything? What are they going to do? They're under FIFA's umbrella. They have to play under their sanctions and FIFA using VAR. So I don't think they can do anything. I don't think they can do anything. And I said this to Chris earlier, you know, it's like, we got Damn here, we're talking about the Crows thing, right? The Crows era, how big it was here, and I'm a Crows fan, pales in comparison to what's been done to Liverpool. How? They've said that before, trying to start a Super League. You can't, man. They're the governing body. FIFA are the governing body. Like, what are you going to do? And the Premier League's the biggest league. But yeah, like I was saying that about the Crows thing. What's happened, it pales in comparison to the error, because you look at the Crows one, the error was that it didn't go to review. This went to review. As Damn said before, we'll put the pictures up again, right? Let's bring the pictures up. Is clear as day onside. And it went to review and wasn't given. Like, ridiculous. FIFA, I don't think they are with this, because it's not FIFA's fault that this guy got this problem wrong. If this guy didn't go and get that wrong when you can see it with your naked eye that it's right, and then he just turned around and said, check complete, didn't say goal. Makes no sense to me. Like, it's a joke, really. It's an absolute joke. There's nothing more to say. It's an absolute joke. And like, when you guys ever think you would see me sitting here? When do you guys think you would see me sitting here and defending Liverpool? Can I ask that to anyone? When on a cold day in hell do you ever think that would happen? Maybe 5G frequency is frying their brains. Reborn, like that one? Listen, yeah. I don't know. I don't know where we go from there, but it's Liverpool going to be livid. Like, when we're going to bring up the fixtures in a minute, I don't know who Liverpool playing next week. I wouldn't want to play Liverpool. I would not want to. I think they're playing West Ham. I would not want to be the team to play Liverpool this week. I knew when Gary Neville was defending us, something big has happened. You know what? Even I would not want to play Liverpool this week, man. I'm going to bring up the fixture soon. Yeah, listen, it's like I said, did you ever think I would sit here and defend Liverpool? Gary Neville's defended. I'm like, I hate Liverpool. I say it all the time. But this beyond that, they've been cheated is the only word you can really use. They've been cheated. A disgraceful decision. Heads need to roll for that. That guy, unfortunately, I know people are going to say, oh, no, you can't do that. It's bullying. He should be sacked. You can't be a VAR official for the biggest league in the world, the English Premier League, when you're officiating over games that involve some of, Man United, Liverpool, the two biggest clubs in the world, in my opinion, and they're both in that league. You're officiating games of some of the biggest clubs in the world. You got Arsenal's in there as well, Chelsea's. Man City are the European treble winners, European Cup. Best team in the world at the moment. If you got a guy in there, Darren England, that can't do his job, he shouldn't be in there. He should be sacked. Like, in a normal job, if I go into a normal job, you go into your normal jobs, you do something wrong, you get the sack. Like, these heads need to roll. Like, they need to put people in there that there's no bias. I don't know, dude. They need to make an example of all of them. Everyone, you know what? Not just him. Everyone that was in that VAR room, something needs to be done to all of them. Whether they're fined, banned for 6 months, something needs to be done to that whole panel that was on there on that night. Whoever was on that panel, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Heads need to roll, and the league should be doing that. If they don't do that, they're gutless, and what it means is it's just going to happen again. And next time it won't happen to Liverpool. It might happen to your beloved Tottenham, to you guys. It will probably happen to my beloved United. It's already happened to United. We've been dodged 4 penalties this year that we should have had, and we just get on with it because they've been talking about it, that United and Liverpool have been getting cheated by VAR. Everyone's been saying it. The big teams are copying it now. It's happened to Liverpool. It'll happen to Tottenham. It'll happen to Man United. It'll happen to Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea. It happened to Arsenal last year. It'll happen to every team. And, heads need to roll. Sorry. If I was Jurgen Klopp right now, I wouldn't be happy. And you'll never be happy. But, something needs doing. I don't want an apology. Don't give me an apology because it doesn't give me my 3 points. Doesn't give me the players back that probably shouldn't have been sent off as well. Like, you've got to do something beyond that. I'm sorry. Ronald says, hi, KP. I'm so happy the Panthers won the Cup 3 times. Sorry about that. Am I talking over you, KP? Well, you're not talking at all because you're typing. But who are the Panthers? What ball do they kick? They need some ex-players in there. People that actually know the game, not people who've read a load of rules about the game. Exactly. Put some ex-players in there that played in, like, some lower leagues, so there's no bias. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. No bias. Ex-players in there. Say, listen, hey, we want you to do it because you played the game. You know that what's an example? I know Casemiro grabs Will Hughes like this. He wasn't trying to choke him, and then the referees say, oh, you're throttling him, and give him a 4-match ban. They know Curtis Jones it was a yellow card because it wasn't dangerous. It wasn't foul play, it was reckless. So yellow card, like, I agree 100% with that. Guys, get some merch. King of the North. Don't know about King of the North, man. KP. You know what I mean? KP. But on that, like, I've ranted. This is the most I've ever talked about Liverpool on here, and it's for the wrong reasons. Like, I feel for Reeves, feel for their fans, and like I said, you never thought I would say that, ever. But these things bring the wider football community together. I've said it how many times? Like, it's a joke, and that's all I'm going to say. And I'll bring up the rest of them on that. We'll move on because I've been talking about it for 20 minutes, I think. The next one, which I watched, was the last game so far, was Nottingham Forest Brentford. I actually tipped a draw. Nottingham Forest went down to 10 men. Brentford got the goal, which was real bad marking. Was a nice header though. But then the Nottingham Forest equaliser was a cracker. Great header, man. Like top header. Like you say, it's happened to us. It will be someone else next time, and they will be up. Exactly. Reeves. The way I put it is, if it can happen to United and Liverpool, it can happen to anyone. Because, like I said, they are the two biggest clubs in the world. They are institutions. So if it gets done to them, it'll happen to the Tottenham. It happened to Arsenal last year. It'll happen to Chelsea. It'll happen to City. And Guardiola will be up in arms. Did Ronaldo play or not yet? Don't know what that means, but I'm sure he's playing in Saudi Arabia, isn't he? No, but yeah. Anyway, that's it. Nottingham Forest equaliser was cracker. Great header, like it was cracker header. I don't know where he pulled it from. There were 10 men. They got that. Good on Nottingham Forest. He started with Elanga and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi didn't really do that much. Elanga they didn't really do that much either. Awani's goals have dried up a bit, but they got the draw at home against Brentford, which is a pretty good result for Nottingham Forest. So good on them. I'll bring up the fixtures now, guys. We'll talk a bit about the fixtures coming up, and yeah, let's have a look. All right. There's one more game left of this game week, which is Fulham-Chelsea in the morning. What does everyone think? Does anyone want to give a prediction for that before I go on? Listen, Chelsea have to win. Not saying they're going to win, but I really think they have to. Guys, you new, click the subscribe button, and click the likes button too. Thank you, Ronald. Ronald, you think Ronald will just get all his friends in here just clicking the sub button? No, but listen, Chelsea have to win, I think. If they lose... But listen, like I said, I'm not saying they're going to win, because they're probably not. The way they're playing, the only thing that gives me a bit of happiness every week is how bad Chelsea are doing, because none of my other rivals are doing bad. Arsenal are excellent. Liverpool, excellent. City, obviously excellent. Tottenham have been excellent. The only little pinch of happiness I get every week is seeing the Chelsea result. It's the only result that's ever worse than the United's result. So, yeah, no. Ronaldo scored 10 in 7. There you go. He was upset the other day. He was like, telling people he's not finished and shit. It's like, I don't think no one cares, bro. If they get the referees from OnlyFans, no one will complain. I don't know what that means, man. Don't know. Yeah, well, like I said, I think Chelsea have to win in the morning. But we'll bring up the rest of the fixtures and we'll talk a little bit about them. So, Burnley have got to go to Luton. Listen, they smashed that league last year, so Burnley have to win. Spurs are going to Luton. You think Spurs are going to win? If the footy gods are out there, Spurs will lose 1-0 or something, but I don't think they're going to. What happened there? Because that was an extra game, Luton Burnley. Sorry, there's two. Why is that extra game in there, Luton Burnley? And then Luton again. So Luton only having a 3-day break from Wednesday. Oh, that's their catch-up game because they didn't play the first game of the year because of their stadium. Okay, that makes sense. So Luton Burnley having that catch-up game there, and then they got a 3-day break and they got to play Spurs. So there you go. And then it's Burnley, Chelsea, Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Sheffield United, United, Brentford, Palace, Forest, Brighton, Liverpool, West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves, Villa, and the big one, Arsenal, Man City. And then I think we're into an international break. But listen, if Arsenal are serious, they want to be title contenders, they got to turn around at home, beat Man City. If they let Man City come there after losing to Wolves and win, I don't think I don't think they're in the title. I think it's City's title then. Even though they lost. But if Arsenal turn around and win, which, I want them to. I want Arsenal to win that game. I'd rather Arsenal win the title. So they got to show up. Show that they're a championship contending team. Get the result against City at the Emirates. And the other one, I said, you know what? I know Liverpool, they're going to Brighton. Where's the fixtures there? You know what? I'm tipping Liverpool, because I wouldn't want to play Liverpool after that. They're gonna be in the biggest siege mentality now, I believe. And when teams are like that, they used to say Alex Ferguson used to create that siege mentality. Just shut yourselves off from everyone and then they used to thump everyone. And if he can get that happening, which I believe he's going to try, I'm going to tip Liverpool even though Brighton got smacked and they're going to want to fight back too. It's a huge game for both now. That's massive. United, Brentford. Let's talk about that for a little bit. I'm going to tip United from now because they're my guys. But United have got Galatasaray on Wednesday morning. If they come out and lose at Old Trafford against Galatasaray, and then they don't get a good result against Brentford, I don't want it to happen. But unfortunately, Erik Ten Hag is walking on thin ice. And you know what? It's not his fault. You can tell it's not his fault. Like I said, 3 managers before him couldn't get this almost identical group of players doing what they wanted. He got them doing it last year. Something is not right. All the outside noise, Jadon Sancho's shit. I'll tell you, there's a list. The Ronaldo stuff to begin with. The De Gea stuff now. Jadon Sancho. Dealing with all of this outside, it eventually is going to take its toll. And it has. And they need to win against Galatasaray. They need to beat Brentford. If they don't, I fear for Eric, even though I don't want it. I'd rather we get relegated and keep him. I'm honest about that. Why is sports fighting all the time? AFL, hockey, and NRL. Don't know. Spurs to win again. They will. I'm sure they will, but I'll tell you, if there's footy gods out there, they won't. Hey, Ronald, I just need to leave because I left my keys at my wife's. That's my line. Yeah, but how are you going to get? You're going to Uber there? Is that what's going to happen? That's wild. But yeah, United need to beat Galatasaray. They need to beat Brentford. There's no Christy, oh gosh, you leave the key. Let's bring up a few other fixtures in this because I touched on that one. So yeah, I left it. So United need a win. You think Spurs are going to win against Luton? Luton playing 2 games in 3 days. It's a bit of a shock. Look at this. They got their catch-up game, and then they're making them play on the first game. Why don't they make them play on the Sunday night or something? You looking out for these teams at all? This is ridiculous by the league. Burnley going away to Chelsea. You couldn't put any money on Chelsea. Everton have only scored 1 goal at home. Don't know what's going to happen there. Fulham, you would think a favourites against Sheffield United. Palace just won at Old Trafford, so you back them at home. Wolves, Villa. Wolves just beat Man City, but Villa beat Brighton 6-1. So, yeah. Chris C, do you have a key hook? He hit right back, Chris C. Do you have a key hook, bro? You should put him up there. You won't lose them. You know what I mean? But, listen, guys. We'll go back to that one thing. Only a hook knows. We'll go back to that one thing that we touched on. The decisions that took place over the weekend were a disgrace. VAR is a disgrace. Darren England, that official, and everyone that was involved in that decision, in that VAR room, Alan Shearer is spot on. It's incomprehensible. Use all of you. That is a disgraceful act. I'm not going to say you are a disgrace because I don't know you as people, but that is a disgraceful act. It's affected more than you know, and you turn around, give an apology, which means SFA. And if everyone knows what that means, you know what that means. That apology means SFA. It means nothing. How are the clubs meant to have confidence going into games in VAR now when they know their players, for one, could get stupid red cards when VAR look at it, when any player that's played the game knows it's not a red card? I'm a striker, mate. I don't tackle and that's not a red card. Like, so how are they going to have confidence in not just that? How are they going to have confidence in that you're going to get decisions right when offsides are within, as they do, a millimeter, you know? How are clubs, managers, players, who are the most important part of the game, players, going to have confidence in you to get the decisions right when you could get such a decision wrong? Such an easy decision wrong. Significant human error. Well, I'm sorry, Darren England. Significant human error. For the rest of the year, you shouldn't be officiating in the Premier League. You shouldn't be involved in VAR. Maybe not sack him because it's the first time. He should be doing lower leagues, not getting as much money. I'm sorry. And people might say, oh, that's mean. Well, you know, why does he have to suffer financially, etc., because of this? He has to, because he stuffed up. He made such a horrendous mistake that he should be punished to the severity that Liverpool being punished for it. It's cost them a game that we don't know what that could cost them in the end. Could cost them a position on the ladder, which is millions. Could cost them a title, which is even more millions. So if they can be punished because of your significant human error, you should be punished for it. Because if I'm a chef and I go into a cafe and make a shit meal, I either get in trouble or I get sacked. So what should be the difference for you doing your job and not doing it adequately? You have done something terrible. Like I said, everyone knows I'm a United fan. I should be loving this, reveling in it. But we're not. No one is. Because, as I said, Reborn touched on it. If it can happen to Liverpool and it can happen to Man United, it can happen to anyone. Trust me, because if it can happen to those two clubs, they are the biggest clubs in the world, it can happen to anyone. It will happen to Tottenham next. They'll be upset. It happened to Arsenal last year. It can happen to anyone. And I know that's what most of the show's been about tonight, but listen, something has to be done. If I, in a week, haven't heard that something has done, they haven't taken any measures to punish Darren England, then the league is, like we say about the AFL here, gutless, too scared of the backlash of punishing someone when he's done something wrong. So why can't he be punished? It's not like you're going out there and physically punishing him. You're punishing him in the way that someone can be punished when they do their job bad. And he can say, oh, yeah, it was an error. But yeah, that still means you did your job bad. So, listen, something has to be done. Let's read a few of these before we go. How come Messi doesn't have a song? Ronaldo does. Messi doesn't need one. Oh, just Ronaldo. What's your song, Ronald? Ronaldo Hess, Chrissy says. I forgot the song. Sorry, don't at me. I forgive you. Thank you. Chrissy and KP is a legend. There you go. We're legends. What a nice guy. But, yeah, listen, guys. Reeves, I'm pissed off as a Liverpool fan, but as a fan of football, I'd be just as annoyed if I'd seen that happen to anyone else, especially that blatant, I'd be calling them out just the same. Exactly. And that's what I'm doing. I'm a United fan, but I'm a football fan first and foremost. And it's ruining the game we love. It is. These things, you put up the thing from Mark Goldbridge, Reeves. Goldbridge, I love Goldbridge. I watch him every day, right? Obviously, United fan. Listen, Goldbridge, if you're listening, collab, you know what I mean? Love him. Maybe Reeves knows him, you know? Reeves, you might live near Mark, man. Get him collab. Nah. But yeah, he said he turned the game off with 20 minutes to go, which is unheard of. Like, when you're a fan, you're watching, you're like, I'm turning it off or leaving, you know, walking out. That means something bad's happened. He was doing a watch along and he turned it off to do a review. And I think he said the same things I said. He's like, I should be reveling in this, but I'm not. Like, yeah, I appreciate him and his view. Listen, Mark's a champion. Hi, KP, how are you? And everyone in the live chat. Zakel, how are you, man? I'm very good. Please like, share, subscribe, guys, if you're new. Let's boycott EPL. I will not boycott the EPL, but if that keeps happening, something has to be done. Like, the clubs should. The fans shouldn't. The clubs, like, if Liverpool turn around now, they should turn around and go, you know what? We're not playing, so you can make money. Yeah, deduct us some points. We're not playing this weekend, so you can make money until you give us our points. Then what are they going to do? Deduct Liverpool 10 points? Because, well, they'll say, oh, you're bringing the game into disrepute. Who brought the game into disrepute first? PGMOL. You brought the game into disrepute by making such an error that cost Liverpool the game. And like I said, God knows what else it's going to cost them. Could cost them millions. Could cost them a title. If that's not bringing the game into disrepute, I don't know what is. Clip this. Put it up. It's factual. They'll say, Liverpool, if you refuse to play this week, like I said about the Crows, you're bringing the game into disrepute. Well, PGMOL, you brought the game into disrepute first. The referees, you brought it into disrepute first. VAR, exact same thing by making the most horrendous decision we've seen VAR make in its short existence. And the problem is, it's not the first one they've got wrong. It will not be the last they've got wrong. Absolute disgrace. Either do a better job or scrap damn VAR, because it's ruining the game that these fans love. We love the game of football, and you are ruining it with your terrible antics, terrible decisions, getting rid of celebrations because we've got to sit there and wait for goals to be reviewed, and then you can't even get them right. Scrap the whole thing. That's enough for me here. Like I said, it's worked me up now about the whole thing. And I'm not even a Liverpool fan. Fuck's sake. Like, ridiculous effort by them. But I'll read a couple of chats before we go. Reborn says, Zakel, everyone's pumped that Zakel's here. Zakel, you legend. Yeah, you are a legend. Zakel is a legend. I've got this poll here. So votes should be scrapped. Who voted no? I want to know who voted no. Who voted no to VAR being scrapped? It's probably Chris. It was 100% Chris. It's Chris. I know it. I voted yes. Yeah, I know you would have. You're wild. Reborn definitely did. Nice hair, KP, but yeah. It's wild. Didn't you see it on Saturday night? Oh, Reborn didn't get to see it, did he? Reborn, I had it down when I started the watch on. It was down here. GT23 freaked out. He's like, you look like a thrash metal. Why am I being accused? Because I know you voted no. I guarantee you voted no. 100% you voted no. But, listen guys, is what it is. I will be back. Chris will be back tomorrow, I believe, with... Oh, wow. Yeah, I was out all day. My parents were here. Listen, I'll do it again. You look a bit like Danny Dash. I'll do it again. You'll see it again, though. It was, it'll be again. I voted no, GT. You're a Liverpool fan, bro. Oh, my God. He should be in timeout for that. Penrith Panthers NRL and Collingwood AFL are the 2023 Premiership. GT Judas. Yeah, Chris C is back. Yes. I'm out of here. Hello, well. Listen. Chris and I believe Childo, also known as King of the North, I think we'll be doing the show tomorrow. I'm not sure if Johnny Carlton or anyone like that. Like, it's a bit hard for our Johnny at the moment to get on because he's just had the kid, and from what I'm told, this one's a bit harder than the last one. So it's a bit hard for him to get on at the moment. But I believe it'll be Chris and Childo for sure. Could be Johnny Carlton. Could be John as well. I don't know. Wednesday night, HFD Podcast. The big man and myself, KP, be there. Don't know if there'll be watch-alongs to the Premier League this week. Not sure. Got to look at the times. But then there might be gaming on Saturday. And this will be back Monday night for the... It'll be weekend review, and then we'll be going into the international break. So we'll have a week off from that. Unless some things have happened. John Hess will be missing for like 40. Oh, yeah. John Hess, come on. Gone out the window, bro. But in saying that, we do have a bit coming up this weekend. Hopefully everyone can tune in for the AFL Grand Final recap tomorrow. HFD Podcast, as everyone always does, can touch in on Wednesday. It'll be a great show, and then we'll be back. We'll let you know what comes up after that for the week. But thanks, everyone. Got the keys, Ronald. Me and Zakal wild today. John Hess will be missing 4 years. Is anyone going to watch the 2023 Cricket World Cup? I'll watch a bit of it, Zakal. Who's John? I am Zakal. There you go. Good, Chrissy. Put on your hook for you. Go out. Don't know what that means. Oh, put your keys on the hook. Jim and John who? So we'll end on that, guys. Jim and John who? I'll show you John. We'll give you John before we go. You ready?
What's my last name?
Hi.
This
You
will be him.
have a last name.
Do I? Do I?
There you go. Give Dan one before he goes. Congrats to John and his new baby, Reeb says. Congratulations, John. What does it say? Congratulations, John, but he won't see this. Yeah, he won't, but we've told him. Yeah, big up to him. Are you going to watch the Wallabies tonight? Zakal Dam says, LOL, I love that dude. Where's my car? Keys. We should make that as a shirt. Dude, where's my car? Keys. That's wild. Listen, guys, especially GT, if you haven't, hit the like button. If you're new, please share, subscribe, get everyone in, getting our content out there. We love it. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone, for coming in tonight. Obviously, there was a bit of a rant happening there, and that's what most of the show was about, but it deserved that time. I just wish we were bigger so more people could see it. It was, worth it. But thanks for watching, and the boys will be back tomorrow. I'll end the poll so you can all see it. There you go. Only just voted yes, but yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care, KP. Thanks, Dan. See you tomorrow in the chat. See you Wednesday on screen at HFD Studio. Take it easy.